Thank you, Congressman. So, I'm here in front of you today as a Romanian Member of Parliament, representing a country which has been enjoying the wonderful gifts of the free world for very little time, about 30 years. Our Western civilization has unfortunately many declared enemies who have assumed their role in their own strategic concepts, the desire to defeat the West and to impose their own model of society on us. While our model of society is based on a Western style, rule-based and free market capitalism, which has proven to be both morally and economically superior to their model. Hands down, the West has won the global competition for economic and the model of governance. But the thing is that our democracies need to be defended ever more. So, states openly committed to replacing Western civilization model with their own model of authoritarian society have invested in cyberware, 5G technology, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. All of these are seen to be real game changers in their competition with the free world. So, the enemies of our civilization took the new arms race very seriously. Russia, China, Iran used cyberspace, intelligence gathering, informational operations, espionage, deepfake communications, and other tactics against the free world. So, technology by itself, unfortunately, does not have a moral compass. Technology can be used to either do good or bad. But what we know for sure is that some states are willing to use technology against us. Many Western states have already understood this, so this is why countries such as the US, the UK, Japan, Taiwan, New Zealand were the first to announce that developing their own networks with equipment from Chinese companies such as Huawei poses a significant risk to security. The European Union is also exploring the idea of a mandatory ban on states using companies that might pose a security risk for the 5G networks, but not only to 5G networks. The EU Internal Market Commissioner, Thierry Breton, has publicly called on EU countries to ban Huawei from building national 5G networks. So far, and this is important to know, 10 countries have already issued a ban on such Chinese technologies, and Romania is one of them. In Bucharest, together with my colleagues, I drafted the mechanism of filtration and later voted for the law which aims to ban companies that collect user data from building the 5G networks. The law came into the context of a memorandum of understanding that was signed in 2019 between our government and the government of the United States. So this memorandum provided for the mandatory application of these filtration mechanisms. All the countries in the free world need to stand together, in my point of view, and to act firmly in this respect. In Bucharest, we believe that everything related to critical infrastructure must be developed together with the Western companies. Moreover, I believe that the future is tied to economic collaboration, which needs to be extended beyond the borders of NATO countries. And I believe that countries such as India, but not only, need to become our reliable partners in the future, so that together we can safeguard democracy. I'm talking about like-minded countries that have the same interest as we do, that of maintaining a global climate based on law, peace, and predictability. Turning back to history, we see that military lessons teach us, even from ancient times, that the one who has the capacity to innovate and use technology is the one who often wins. And the Russian crime aggression against Ukraine is no exception. Outgunned and outnumbered, The Ukrainians managed to balance the situation on the front line by turning technology to overcome their opponent. The use of the Starlink system, the conversion of commercial drones to weaponized drones, and the rapid adoption of Western technology were used to stop Russia from advancing to Kiev in a few days. For 7 decades now, nuclear weapons were the technology that was considered to be the ultimate weapon that would end the war or discourage the enemies. Today, though, artificial intelligence and quantum computing make it possible for machines to innovate much faster and more efficiently than humans ever could. These technologies have the potential to act as a major force in international relations, as cotton or coal once did. It is thus increasingly clear today that the winners of the tech race will shape the international order of tomorrow. But at what cost? Do we know? In terms of strategic foresight, the quantum technology itself is still a terra incognita, or unknown land. Philosophically, we still don't know how a quantum artificial consciousness will react towards humanity. Will we understand the powers of this supercomputer? How will we interact with it? Will we be able to control it? And most important, what will be done when quantum AI will make decisions based on mechanisms that we don't have the power to understand? So it becomes clear that sooner rather than later, we need to regulate new technologies in order to avoid some answers that we do not want to hear when we ask these questions. But what are the limits of the regulations? Do we know? I think we don't know. Are we in the risk of coming with regulations that are already old and obsolete? It may be so. So, we might regulate the development of these technologies in our Western democracies, but the problem is that we cannot impose such regulations on countries such as the Russian Federation, China, and North Korea or Iran. So we are now in a huge moral dilemma for the future of humanity. And this could be in the books of George Orwell. So in the end of my speech, I want to propose all of you to carefully reflect on this dilemma that starts with 2 scenarios that must be taken into consideration. The first scenario is the one in which rogue nations, such the ones I just mentioned, will have won the quantum computing race and have leverage on us. The second one is the possibility that quantum AI will control a lot of things in our lives and will fundamentally transform our societies, our way of living, and will influence our liberties and understandings. So, instead of drawing a conclusion, I find myself forced to say that it is up to us, and not to the future generation, to find a solution for all these problems. Thank you. John?